Thank you, Joanna, and thank you all for coming out this evening in order to hear the panelists speak about the issue that are impacting all of us, whether or not District 6 or District 5 or District 4 or any other districts take information about the question of dezoning, some say unzoning, but clearly zoning is within the jurisdiction of community education councils established by law. And in fact, some people say that is the real, true, only power of authority in which CECs have. And so, as you know, if in fact that's the true power that you have, let's not give it away to anyone else. Let parents who live in the community make the decisions that impact the children of the community. So I'm happy that this forum is taking place. Hopefully what will occur is everyone will come out of here learning something from the panelists, but also asking questions in order to help you as parents and activists to focus in on the issues and concerns, but also that if you're undecided about one way or the other, it will help to make you decide one way or the other. Clearly, there was a press conference this afternoon where people spoke at the press conference, and what we are trying to do is to bring light to this situation, understanding that this is about education. And it seems as though, in my opinion, some of you may differ, that the Department of Education and the Mayor's office is trying to push through the last 6 months of its administration, dezoning in several school districts in New York City. Put that aside for a second. It seems as though that the city of New York is trying to push through what they call infill and NYCHA developments, 8 NYCHA developments. They're trying to put housing right in the middle of either a parking lot or a community center or some green space. And in 8 developments in the city of New York, mainly Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn, and 7 out of the 8 NYCHA resident leaders are totally against it because they feel that it's going too fast and not having any input. Put that aside for a second. A third thing is they call the Midtown rezoning. And the Midtown rezoning basically is around from like 42nd Street up to 50-something Street, around Lexington, 3rd Avenue, around there. And many people are complaining that it's moving too fast. So it seems as though that on several fronts, they're trying to rush through things prior to their tenure expires on 12/31/13. And people are saying, no, slow down. We need to have true input from the community in order for us to decide what's best for ourselves, whether or not as far as education, whether or not as far as NYCHA developments, whether or not it has to do with the Midtown East rezoning. So hopefully things will go well tonight and that we will all learn. We're going to take some notes. There's going to be videotaping, so it'll be accessible to all. And one of the things that we want to do is to take notes, document, so that if in fact a decision has to be made by CEC 5, because about a week ago, 10 days ago, there was a forum held, and whether or not if a decision has to be made in CEC 6, and that the people that make the decisions will make it in the best interest of the children of our districts. And some people ask a question, and it's a legitimate question. Why all of a sudden are you trying to fast forward this right at the end of the term of CEC members? CEC members, their term expires June 30th. And then there will be new CEC members beginning July 1. And so, with more specifically in District 6, which is my home district, at first I heard there was going to be an emergency meeting about the presentation about dezoning. And I said, why are we having an emergency meeting when if any meeting, it should be a normal process? What's the rush? And then that meeting that was called was postponed. And then it was rescheduled again, one in the evening and one in the morning. But the public, the parents, did not have a say in that. So this is a forum that we need to have where everyone will be able to ask questions and hopefully get responses. And we're documenting also that if questions that we don't know the answers to, we will get answers to. So for example, in talking to Joanna Garcia this morning, someone mentioned the fact that Albany is going to act. Well, so I asked the question, when is Albany going to take up again the question of mayoral control? Answer, 2015. So someone said, well, they're going to take up next year the issue of changing the zones of districts. So the Council of the Education Committee, Asia Schomburg, I asked her to reach out to the State Assembly Chair of the Education Committee, Catherine Nolan. And the question is that's nowhere on the agenda at all. So as you know, if you don't know, only the state legislature can change district lines. So right now, District 6 runs from 135th Street to 220th Street. So if the legislature was going to make changes, they could make change in district lines, but nothing's on the table. So those are just two questions that came into being and we've got answers for. If there are other questions that we don't have answers for, we will get answers. And maybe what we should do is post those somewhere so people know these were questions that were asked and these are the answers to those questions. So we can educate everyone in this process.